Maricel Hernandez, and I am the chair of the Chicago Board of Elections. I'm happy to announce today the start of early voting in all 50 wards throughout Chicago for the November 5th presidential general election. Early voting will run through Monday, November 4th. These ward early voting sites will be open weekdays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturdays from 9 to 5, and Sundays from 10 to 4. All these early voting sites, including this downtown super site, will also be open on Election Day from 6 in the morning till 7 p.m. A voter living in Chicago may choose to vote at any early voting site that's convenient for them, no matter where they live in the city. All early voting sites are also fully compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act. For all those who are not yet registered to vote or who've had an address or name change, we also provide same-day voter registration services at every early voting location. This means you can register for the first time or file an address change if you've moved or a name change, and then cast your ballot at the same time. Just bring with you 2 forms of ID, at least one of which shows your name and current address. Whether it's the site closest to your home, school, or job, simply come to one of these 50+ locations and check in, and you can vote on the spot. In 32 of these early voting sites, bilingual voting officials will be on hand to assist voters in their preferred language. Today, we have board representatives present who will talk more about this and other language access resources heading into Election Day. Additionally, we will have 3 temporary early voting sites located at Chicago State University, Northeastern Illinois University, and the University of Chicago that will be open from October 30th to November 1st from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. By bringing the polls directly to campuses, the aim of this program is to make the voting experience more convenient and accessible for students and their surrounding community. The November 5th election is only 2 weeks away, so we're urging Chicago voters to vote early and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with getting your civic duty out of the way. Currently, over 12,850 voters have already early voted for the presidential election. Compared to where we were in 2016 and 2020, that is slightly lower than we would like to see for an early turnout, but we expect a big increase now that these early voting sites in all 50 wards will be open as of today. Vote by mail is also off to a strong start in Chicago. Currently, there have been over 250,000 applications to vote by mail, and almost 54,000 vote by mail ballots have been returned. Voters have until October 31st to apply for a vote by mail ballot, but we urge voters, please don't wait till October 31st, do it today. Remember, if you mail your vote by mail ballot back the weekend before Election Day, we cannot guarantee that the post office will postmark it and process it by November 5th in time for your vote to be counted. The quicker you get your ballot back to us, the quicker it will be processed and counted for election night. For all of our vote by mail voters who now have their ballots sitting at home, secure drop boxes are now available. If you have your vote by mail ballot completed and do not want to put it in the mail, you can now drop it off at any one of our secure drop boxes located at each early voting site. Here at the super site as well, and at 69 West Washington Street. If voting by mail You will receive emails when your ballot has been mailed and when it has been received back and officially counted. So keep an eye on that inbox. You may also go to chicagoelections.gov and use the voter information lookup to check the status of your vote by mail ballot. I'm also very happy to say that we have had nearly 10,000 people apply to be election judges for Election Day. Since we only need 6,500 assigned election judges, we're proud to say that we've hit and surpassed our hiring goal. As of today, we have over 2,000 high school students and 280 college students assigned to be election judges for November 5th. That's 1/4 of the total poll worker force, all led by young voters. There are many important races on the ballot. Voters are clearly fired up to vote for president, as we know. But there are many important down ballot races, including U.S. representatives, state legislators, Cook County State's Attorney, Illinois Supreme Court, and many more. And for the first time in our city's history, voters will be choosing members of the newly elected public school board. Many people have worked decades to put this office on the ballot, and now we urge voters to check their district number and take a look at the candidates in their area. You can go to chicagoelections.gov and use our voter information lookup tool to get started. Don't wait until the last second on November 5th. Research your choices and make a plan to vote now. If voters have any questions or concerns, we're here to assist you. All of this information and more is available at chicagoelections.gov. You can call us at 312-269-7900 or email us at cboe@chicagoelections.gov. And thank you. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
शिकागो चुनाव आयुक्त परिषद की ओर से मैं किमिको मेहता साउथ एशियन आउटरीच की प्रतिनिधि के रूप में आप सभी का स्वागत करती हूं और ये सूचित करना चाहूंगी कि आज 21 अक्टूबर को हमारे शहर के सभी 50 वार्डों में अर्ली वोटिंग साइट्स खुल चुके हैं। शहर के उन इलाकों में जहां अंग्रेजी बोलने या समझने में परेशानी हो सकती है, वहां हमने हिंदी, उर्दू या गुजराती बाइलिंगुअल पोल वर्कर्स की सुविधा रखी है। शिकागो में 8 ऐसे प्रारंभिक मतदान स्थल हैं जहां दक्षिण एशियाई भाषाओं के मतदान अधिकारी आपकी मदद कर सकेंगे, जिनमें वार्ड 33, 34, 39, 40, 48, 49 और 50 शामिल हैं। इन सभी वार्डों में मतदाता साइट पर मौजूद पोल वर्कर्स को उनके बैचेस से पहचान पाएंगे। यहाँ 191 नॉर्थ क्लार्क स्ट्रीट में सुपर साइट पर अमिताभ अग्रवाल और साइमा अमजद हिंदी और उर्दू भाषी मतदाताओं की मदद के लिए मौजूद है। हिंदी की एक कहावत है, काल करे सो आज कर, आज करे सो अब। जीवन अप्रत्याशित है, आज ही अपना वोट डालने की योजना बनाएं। आपका बेशकीमती वोट प्रजातंत्र के लिए मायने रखता है। एक बार फिर से निवेदन कि आज से नवंबर 5 तक हमारे किसी भी अर्ली वोटिंग साइट पर जाकर अपना मतदान करें। धन्यवाद। में आएंगी जेन।
रेडी? नमस्कार। 21 अक्टूबर है और ये प्रेसिडेंशियल रेस है, तो इसमें लोगों का जो रुझान होता है वोटिंग की तरफ थोड़ा बढ़ जाता है। बट एक जो नंबर देखा उससे कि हाँ हमारे वोटर्स जो है शिकागो में कम हो गए, सो ये भी कारण थोड़ा सोचने वाला है। मेरे साथ में है किमी जी। नमस्कार, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत। और सबसे बड़ी बात कि हर तरह से कोशिश की जा रही है कि वोटर्स को हम किस तरह से अपने साथ में जोड़ सकें, बिकॉज दिस इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। ये बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हम अपना राइट एक्सरसाइज करें, क्योंकि हम कंप्लेंट करते हैं बट जब वोट करने की बात आती है तो तब हम रुक जाते हैं और जाते नहीं हैं, कहीं पे भी हो। बट लेकिन डेमोक्रेसी का सबसे पहला पिलर है कि आपको अपना राइट को एक्सरसाइज करना। किमी जी, भारतीय भाषा में बैलेट है, हिंदी में बैलेट है और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक आपने बताया कि कितनी सारी सारी भाषाएं उसमें हैं, इससे ज़्यादा और क्या सिटी कर सकती है। सबसे बड़ी बात, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि आपने ये सब के लिए सोचा है। तो आपसे जानना चाहती हूँ कि आज से वोट शुरू हो चुके। आपने बताया था कि 8 चुनाव क्षेत्र ऐसे हैं जहाँ पे हिंदी बोलने वाले हमारे जो जजेस हैं वो भी अब उपलब्ध होंगे।
जी।
सो मुझे एक बात बताइए कि जब वोट करने जा रहे हैं तो क्या लेकर के जाना पड़ेगा अपने साथ में?
यदि आप रजिस्टर्ड वोटर हैं ऑलरेडी, तब आपको कुछ भी ले जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। लेकिन यदि आप रजिस्टर्ड वोटर नहीं हैं तो आपको एक अपने नाम और पते का प्रूफ ले जाना है, एक स्टेट आईडी या ड्राइवर्स लाइसेंस ले जाना है, और बस यही है।
तो अगर मैं रजिस्टर्ड वोटर हूँ, मुझे अपनी आईडी की ज़रूरत नहीं है?
जी नहीं, फिर आप बस अर्ली वोटिंग साइट पे आए, अपना नाम दें और वो आपका पूरा डिटेल्स निकाल देंगे, यदि आप रजिस्टर्ड वोटर हैं। यदि नहीं है तो आपको 2 पहचान पत्र लाने होंगे।
बहुत बड़ा आभार हमसे ये बात शेयर करने का। सो लेट्स हियर फ्रॉम यू, मतलब लाइक आप जो देख रहे हैं काफ़ी समय से इसमें इन्वॉल्व हैं, लोगों का उत्साह कैसा है इस बार पिछले वर्ष के मुकाबले में, पिछले बार चुनाव के?
जी, इस बार उत्साह डेफिनेटली बहुत ज़्यादा है। फिर भी हम चाहेंगे कि जो हमारे साउथ एशियन वोटर्स हैं वो न केवल अर्ली वोटिंग साइट पे आके वोट कर सकते हैं, उनके लिए एक और तरीका, यदि वो घर बैठे वोट करना चाहते हैं तो वो आज से 31 अक्टूबर तक वोट बाय मेल के लिए आवेदन दे सकते हैं ऑनलाइन हमारे chicagoboardofelections.gov पर जाकर, और वोट बाय मेल कर सकते हैं घर बैठे हुए। यहाँ आकर कर सकते हैं आज से लेकर के 5 नवंबर तक। और उत्साह ज़्यादा है, लेकिन फिर भी हम चाहेंगे हमारे जितने भी साउथ एशियन वोटर्स हैं, क्योंकि आज जब हम अपनी जड़ें यहाँ जमा रहे हैं तो ये बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हमारी आवाज़ जो है ऊपर तक जाए, और हमारे जो मसले हैं, हमारे जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, समस्याएं हैं, वो रिजॉल्व हों, वो सॉल्व होए। तो इसलिए बहुत ज़रूरी है कि आप सब जाकर वोट करें। ये आपका प्राइमरी अधिकार है। प्रजातंत्र आपके वोट के बिना नहीं चल सकते।
सिटीजनशिप सिर्फ एक पासपोर्ट और ट्रैवल का डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं होना चाहिए, उसमें हमको हर तरफ से भागीदारी करनी चाहिए। वंदना झिंगन आप सबसे अपील करती है कि आप अपने राइट को एक्सरसाइज करें, ज़रूर जाएं। 21 अक्टूबर है आज, और 4 तक ये जो है अर्ली वोटिंग चलेगी, और 5 को हमारा इलेक्शन डे है। धन्यवाद आपका, बहुत बहुत आभार।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chris. Thank you so very much for your time that we've been talking about. We are right here at the super site in the city of Chicago on the 191 North Clark. And today the early voting started. Actually, it has started earlier also, but in all the 50 wards when we talk about it. So it's coming close to homes of people. And how much time does it take to plan these kind of, because this is a presidential election. People are very, very excited about that, they want to participate in this.
Well, months and months before the election, shortly after the primary, we start getting things together and putting out for hiring judges, election coordinators, getting our locations together. So it takes quite a few months we do before Election Day, which is November the 5th. Today, all the 50 early voting sites throughout the city opened. But on October 3rd, our site here at 191 and at 69 West Washington, they were open. So we've been early voting since October 3rd. But now, throughout the city, everyone has opportunity to go. It's in their neighborhood. And if it's not, if they come across one, they still can vote there as well.
As I was hearing the press conference, Ms. Hernandez was mentioning about 2020 and 2024. The numbers are less this year, which we were expecting it to go higher. What could be the reason, actually?
Well,
the people are taking it very easy, or?
Well, no. In 2020, we had the pandemic, okay? So a lot of folks were voting early and vote by mail. It wasn't coming out. So now that we're past the pandemic, individuals are going in slowly but surely, and the vote by mail total is not as high as it was in 2020.
So, but what do you expect? Do you see the ultimate number is going to be higher than 2020?
No, we're looking at around maybe 73%, 75% of the registered voters to turn out.
That's not a bad number.
No, it's not. It's not. But we would like to increase that number.
Absolutely.
80-90% will be a great number because we have 1.6 million voters here in Chicago. So that number sounds great, but you know, for the number of voters we have, we would like for that to increase.
Thank you so very much. I appeal to each and every person who has been a registered voter, and if you are not yet registered but you are a US citizen, do go and register. You can do it. You still have time to register and go and cast your vote. This is very, very important. Thank you so very much. Appreciate
You're
your
welcome.
time.
Take care now.
Mr. Max, first of all, congratulations. October the 21st, historical day that 50 wards going to poll in city of Chicago with multilinguals and almost, I think, 8. They are having the Hindi language also judges. It is a mammoth task when it is 1.6 million people going polling. I mean, like, we expecting, and I was shocking to Charles, he said 73% to 75% that we are expecting. Let's hear from you. What are your expectations, that number of people? Because I think this time people are not going to come for early voting. They may like to come because, on the election day.
Yeah, we still have 50% of people generally show up on election day. That's a Chicago habit that's not going to change. But we're expecting a healthy turnout for this presidential election. The last 4 presidential elections in Chicago had over 70% of the city turn up to vote. We're expecting those numbers too. We've been looking at the numbers so far. Early voting, while it's been a little bit lower comparatively to previous presidential cycles, our vote by mail has been way up. We've had just over 53,000 vote by mail ballots already returned back as of last night, with 250,000 vote by mail ballots going out. Now, we've spent a lot of time talking about 2020 and how to compare, and 2020 is a very hard year to compare to. It's a little bit of an anomaly when it comes to a presidential election. So those numbers that we saw, where we saw over 100,000 people already return their ballots, we've seen over 70,000 people already early vote. That was at a time we were in the middle of the pandemic. They expanded early voting hours. Everyone was mailed a vote by mail ballot, and over 70% of people actually voted before election day. It's a little bit of an anomaly. I don't think we're going to see those numbers again. So we're looking closer to 2016's numbers, and right now we're at a healthy rate of those ballots coming back. But now that our 50 ward sites are open, that's when we know our early voters are going to show up. It's very convenient for them. Any voter can vote at any of these early voting sites no matter where they live in the city. And we do have touch screens that come in 12 different languages for the audio ballot too, including Hindi, Gujarati, and Urdu. And that audio ballot's available at every single early voting site. And we do have 8 bilingual voting officials that speak Hindi, Gujarati, and Urdu. And that includes the super site right downtown here at Clark.
So then, concluding question is, do you feel that people are coming and availing those judges, those who have been appointed especially for this, the bilingual judges?
We did see a lot of good feedback from the primary where we started publicizing this information. Bilingual voting officials have been a part of Election Day for a long time, but the expansion of these bilingual voting officials at early voting sites is somewhat new. So now that we have 8 sites that have South Asian languages, we do hope that people take advantage of that. We do have support on Election Day too, precinct polling places where the ballot will come in Hindi, Gujarati, and Urdu. The printed ballot, there'll be election judges that are bilingual. But if you're already ready to get your civic duty done and you'd like to speak to a voting official in one of your preferred languages, go to chicagoelections.gov, go to our early voting page, and see what ward site might work best for you. But you've also got the super site downtown, and so we've got people here all the way through Election Day. So if you want to talk to somebody in Hindu, Gujarati, or Urdu, you can do so in the city of Chicago.
No, I will go to Devon Avenue, so have my Indian food there, and then talk to the judge and talk to the people, those who have come to vote. Thank you so much.
That sounds like a good plan to vote, which is exactly what we're asking people to do, is don't wait till the last second.
Absolutely.
Just make sure you know which way you're voting. You can either early vote, vote by mail, or vote on Election Day. Go to chicagoelections.gov to make a plan to vote and find out which early voting site might work best for you.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Certainly, yes.
Stopping it. I want you to stop it. So.
Is it okay? I'll just take a picture while you're getting your shot. Hi, sir. Come on forward.
Right this way up.
See you guys. Have a good one.
Take it easy, okay?